Hey, it's Ryan Messick at Zombicide Fans, and today I'm so excited to share with you my all Zombicides mission templates and map editor. So let's jump right in. All right, so we've got the all Zombicides mission templates and map editor from zombicidefans.com, made by me. And this is a free tool to allow anybody to make custom quests, custom missions for any version of Zombicide. Now, as of this recording today, there's only versions for Marvel Zombies, Fantasy, and Classic, aka First Edition. But if I'm just releasing this now, so that over time I can release updates, and we'll get all the different versions available. So this is using a free software called Figma. You can use this as an app on your desktop or even in your browser. And I'm just going to walk you through a little bit, just a hopefully quick overview of what this file is and sort of how to get your way around. So when you first see this file, you'll need to sign in or create your account for Figma, again, free. And then you'll need to click next to the file name up here. It's all Zombicides, at least currently. And then you'll see something down here that will say duplicate to your drafts. So that's how you'll be able to edit it. You won't be able to edit like this master file that I'm sharing out. And so, of course, the file is going to be shared in the description. So get the link over there. All right. So there, along the upper leftish area, there's going to be pages. And then you're going to start on the cover. I also put a handy how to use Figma. This is Mac oriented. So wherever you see command, instead use control. And wherever you see Alt, or wherever you see an option on Windows, you'd be using Alt. And that goes the same for whatever I mention here. There's the Marvel Zombies, the Marvel Zombicide Fantasy, which includes Black Plague, Wolfsburg, Green Horde, Friends and Foes, White Death coming soon. And then Classic for all the season 1, 2, 3 of Zombicide Classic, aka First Edition. And then I have the yellow for things that are just a work in progress. And there's, it's really just the skeleton, the frame of everything here. There's a multi-page export to PDF page, which I'll explain later. Components and styles. This is where like all of the source sort of main components live, that everything else, pulls from. And then there's different credits here for people that have helped out. Thank you. And of course, please don't sell any of the material because this is all copyrighted, right? And it's not, by the way, this is not an official license or authorized by CMON, Guillotine Games, Spin Master Games, Marvel, or DC. There's your disclaimer for the day. And so, yeah, going back to the cover, I also made it handy so you can actually click through. So let's click through and look at one of these. So here's Marvel Zombies. If you're familiar with my work, you may have already seen just the standalone Marvel Zombies, and this is really just the same thing. I don't think there's any changes here or any updates here. Because this has so far been working well. But basically, as the instructions say, and there's, this is a link to this video tutorial here. You pick a mode in a mission template. You can grab this one pager, and by grab, I mean you can grab it. You'll want to grab it so that it's the border there, or if you zoom in enough, you'll see the name, and you can click on that. And what I usually do is I'm in the habit, being more of a Figma power user, of holding the Option key or Alt on Windows and dragging that over, and I have like this assemble area in the middle. You can really do it whatever way you want to, and then I'll go in and I'll get rid of like this. Make sure I select things right. Like I might just get rid of this stuff, and then I'll drag in the components from the right, holding Option to drag out a copy of it. You can always Control C, Control V, copy paste, and then I'll just put my stuff together and start building a mission kind of a thing. And then just kind of diving right into basics. So when you drag near a corner, you'll get this double arrow. So you can just use that to sort of rotate around. This is a weird map. So let's make it not weird, hopefully. There we go. Something like that. That sort of looks like a map, right? And then there are, with anything, some quirks that you may find. So I'll try to display some of those here. And then what else do we want? We want like an objective token. There we go. All right. So I'm building out my map and I'm like, oh, I want a door to go here. Wait a minute. That doesn't work. So I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to, I don't know why it does this, but you'll want to select all of the tiles, and then you can right click and send it back so that these things will overlay on the top of it. So like, okay, I'm going to put a neutral door here. I'm going to put a red objective token here. I'm going to put a first spawn zone here, that sort of thing. So a ton for you to play with. And then what I like to do before I drag this in, like once I have this done, then I'll usually like to do, select all of that, and then I'll group it, Command G, or you can right click and I think you can right click and group. Yeah, there it is. And then just drag this in here, and then it'll just kind of sit in place nicely inside of this, which you can then export to and you're writing all this stuff in. You can export this to a PDF later, that kind of thing. Let's see, if you want this to be bigger, you could just grab a corner and stretch it, but you don't want to stretch it like this. You want to make sure you hold shift while you constrain to stretch based on however big or small you need the thing to be. I recommend building out the whole thing first and then resizing it so that all the little components are the right size together. Yeah, so that's the basics there. Now, this is all put together with something called auto layout. So it'll intelligently resize things. So like I am Groot. So like, let's say your little story, description is only this short. Well, you see how everything else shrunk to accommodate that. So that's how that's made. So if I want to go a really, really long story, then it's going to just help push everything down. However, if all of this stuff makes you crazy because you don't have, you want to arrange things a certain way, you can undo all of this auto layout stuff. And to do that, you would just select an auto layout group, and you know that that's an auto layout group based on the way that the layer is presented here. It's got these little boxes that go this way. Sometimes the boxes go up and down. And this stuff is actually referenced in this handy how to use Figma thing page that I made for you. So it talks about auto layout in the last one. And you can remove auto layout. So I haven't had anybody, express any issues with this, but I always want to make sure that I let people know, like, you don't have to use it this way that I've made it. If you want to get used to and really learn and use auto layout to its benefit, then that's great. But if you don't, then you can, they changed the UI, but it's that upper right button to turn auto layout on or off on a thing. And so, yeah, that'll kind of get you that sort of more natural sort of Photoshop way that people I think are used to doing, where it's just click and drag and drop and just things are just statically set in place. Okay, so then, you could grab a page like this, and then you can, on the lower right, all the way down, export, and then export that to a PNG or a JPEG or a PDF, export that and put that on zombicidefans.com. All right, and then that's kind of the gist of it. Looking, Zombicide Fantasy. I've recreated some missions, or kind of half recreated some missions or quests in some cases, just to kind of give you something to look at, something there. And the only difference between these particular quests are just like the background with the color flame that matches what you'll find in those rule books. My death's coming soon. Zombicide Classic. I've broken it up just by season 1, season 2 with Prison Outbreak, Toxic City Mall, Rue Morgue, Angry Neighbors. All exciting stuff. And I guess I was building a mission over here, some missions over here. How funny that I forgot about. So I'll clean that up before you get it. And it's got all the things, you got your spawn zones and your cars and your objective tokens and your switches and all kinds of fun stuff. If you don't want to wait for some of the new stuff and you want to just start playing, I do have some of the components that are a work in progress over here. And releasing, good thing is, like, releasing this is going to encourage me to want to get the updates out sooner, and get this all done. So that's going to help feed that. All right. So that's basically it. That's just a really quick overview of this all Zombicide's mission templates and map editor in Figma. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in more of this content, if you want to see more of how to use Figma, especially like in this context, how to, make custom missions and quests. If you have questions, comments, suggestions for any of this, that would be awesome. Let me know in the comments. Like the video if it's useful, subscribe to. because this is really the home for our Zombicide Fans podcast. So if you're not checking that out, please do. It's right here on the channel. And it's also, yes, on all podcast listening platforms. We've got it in the audio format too. Until next time, survive.